Hello and welcome. Hey, my name's cScot, and today we're going to take a look at PrimalCore again. Kind of a day two sort of look at. We're going to take a look at a couple of the machines and a couple of the different mechanics that are kind of here with PrimalCore. So let's get after it. Okay, let's get started with this. So the first thing we're going to look at is the fish trap. All right, the fish trap is pretty simple. It's just slats, any sort of slats, and plant twine. And we all know that plant twine here is just 3 plant fiber together, and that'll get you your spruce fish trap, all right? And with that, we'll leave that one there. We also have chum, and so you're going to have to bait the fish trap with chum. Chum is pretty easy. If we look at the recipes here, it's just a meat with a work blade. And as you get better meats, you got more of your return for chum, right? Even to the extent that we've got you got the fish and everything else. So it's pretty simple, but that's how you make chum. And then we've also got pork chops and normal meats and stuff can be used in that too. One thing I did notice was you could use zombie flesh, which would be a great thing for that. But the fish trap will go into the water, and it needs to go at least the second block down in the water. Oh, there's a shark. I hate sharks. There's 2 of them to be exact. This might make this pretty interesting to do. But then we need to load our fish trap full of stuff. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to hit us here. So as you can see right there, we need to you can select your fish trap and it'll tell you what if it needs anything, if there's any errors with it. So then we're just going to load this thing up with bait. These sharks. Yeah, we've not talked about the different animals and the different mobs that are in PrimalCore, but the Hammerhead Shark that we see right here is probably my nemesis in this game. Look at these guys. All right, so now that we've got those guys done, now let's look at another thing called a spruce, or the barrel. And there's multiple barrels, different types. I just made a spruce one, but any of the barrels can be made by just 7 slabs run up like this, which is pretty neat. One thing, and the reason why we bring up barrels is that you can put water into them, right? Or any fluid of that, you know. I would not recommend lava. From personal experience, this will catch on fire. But you can also make a lid. And with this lid, the lid is just a thin slab with a saw in this formation. The saw on the left, thin slab on the right, but it's then creates your barrel lid, right? And that can go right on top there. Now the cool thing is by holding shift, you can pick that thing up and walk around with it, right? Then place it right back down, take the lid back off, and the lid comes with a shift and right click, and that comes off. So that's a pretty cool thing. The one thing to note, you can't do with this, you can't put it in an inventory. It will only stay on you. So something to note about it. Now I've had a couple questions come up about the fire. There's fire rings, right? Let's just let me show you guys this here. The fire pit, right? The fire pit. And there's no way that doesn't tell you anything about it. How do you make it, right? But what you do to make it is you'll take first a hoe and you'll take that and right click that against gravel. That will get you raked gravel. Then take the shovel and right click with the shovel, and that gives you a fire pit. So that's how you work that. Take sticks, and we're going to get a Tinder Bundle. A Tinder Bundle is just 4 plant fiber together, and we'll take a fire bow. So we'll load up our sticks into here, and then we'll throw then our Tinder Bundle into there, and then we'll light this thing with there we go. Come on, there we go. So that is lit, right? That's pretty cool. It works pretty nice, but there's been a lot of questions about that, so we'll leave the sharks down here, and we'll continue to work on other things that we've got up here. All right, so the next thing there's been a lot of questions about, and we've already discussed this, is a spruce drying rack, or the drying rack in general. There's multiple types you can do, but the drying rack is, for all intents and purposes, one thing that I get a lot of questions about. With that, to craft it, again, it's just slats with pins, and then planks of the same thing with plant twine in the middle of it. So that's how you get your drying rack. With the drying rack, there's been a lot of questions about it, and hopefully these all aren't done yet. Okay, no, they're not. Okay, so we're going to take these 2 pieces of fresh thatching, and we'll place these guys on here. 1 and 2 this way. Okay, a dirt stick. for everybody, for all intents and purposes, all of the kind of the machine pieces of PrimalCore, you can use a dirt stick to see kind of the status of them. And a dirt stick is crafted with just 2 pieces of dirt in a diagonal position like that. So we'll grab this dirt stick and we'll use this to be able to look at our stuff. So we right click against the bottom of it, and you notice that the counter there is 10 and 12. So what it is doing is it's counting down from that number at a random tick. It's not a one-to-one. And so if you're curious about how long it's taking, you just click it and it will show you that, oh, hey, I'm at 10 random ticks here later. We can speed that up by adding other things to it. Take, for instance, a furnace. I don't have a pickaxe around here. Just a second. Let's grab a pickaxe, and then what we'll do is we'll throw this thing in here. So pickaxe, I think I got one right here. Yeah. There, we got our steel pickaxes from Kitsu's, but we want to grab this right here, this furnace right here. If you'll look through the configs, you'll notice that there are a couple things that you can use internal to kind of create more heat in these areas. One is a furnace. So if we were to take this, put that in there, and do I have any? Yeah, let's take 1 piece of coal here. And we add coal in here. This should start to heat this and make this go just a bit quicker. We may not see it update with this, but it does have the ability to increase the heat around that. There's a couple different blocks that do that. I'm not for sure exactly all of them, but I have used in the past a furnace. Okay, next one. The Hibachi, kind of a new piece. It's never not been used a whole lot, and now with the newest versions of PrimalCore, it is currently out and it is working, and working well. That is, we have 3 different types of them. We have this one. I can't pronounce it. I'm not going to try. We have a terracotta one, and we have a mud type. Now, to craft these, it's that block, so terracotta block, replace that with dry mud. I've made the dry mud one here, which is just the 5 pieces of dried mud, cobblestone, and iron slats across the top of it. We can just show you here too also, Hibachi, right here. So you got your iron slats across the top, right? Easy stuff to do. But the very, very cool thing that we have with these now is if we look at all the recipes, look at the stuff you can actually cook in this thing. So pretty cool. Yeah, lots of good stuff you can cook in it. So we will go ahead and place down here. We'll place our coal underneath there, and then on the top here is just kind of like the drying rack. We're going to place that stuff there. Let me see if I can find ourselves a torch here real quick, and we'll light that thing. I don't know if I have any near me, but we might. We've kind of, yeah, there we go. 1, 2. The new PrimalCore also, if you step in water with your torches, the torches will go out. So there's a lot of new functionality since we kind of did our day 1 video of the cool things that are happening. So you just light the bottom of that, and then it currently cooks it. So we should be able to right click the top here, shift right click, and you can see right there it shows you your fuel type and then that counter coming down. So Hibachi's working, and it is really cool. The last thing we're going to talk today is the iron cauldron. I get a lot of questions about that too. The iron cauldron to craft is pretty simple. You can use any iron ingot in this sort of aspect this way, right? And you have cobblestone underneath there. As you can see, that is already done. So that's a fairly quick cook when it comes to things. And then we can just pull this out here. And as you can see now that it's off, we're going to run into the problems where, guess what, we should have up here? We should have some sort of vent system so that that's not there. But let's go ahead and continue to work with the Hibachi, or the iron cauldron we have here. We just looked at the recipe here for the iron cauldron. Great, it's easy. We also want to get a ladle. Now there's 3 types of ladles that we've got. We have an iron one ladle, we have a copiary ladle, and we have a lacquer ladle. All right. This ladle allows you to pull things in and out of the and then see the status of things that are in your cauldron. So that is really kind of what it looks like. Let's grab out right here. Let's grab out our ladle and we can check it again now. So we see our heat level is at 0, right? We're going to go ahead and remove this, and we're going to set this thing up. Now, you need to set it up on a heat source. Could you set it up on top of something like that? Yeah, you might be able to, but that's not probably the most efficient. You could probably set it on netherrack that was on fire. You could put it on magma blocks. You could place it above, for instance, you could place it up above lava, right? So there's a couple things you can actually do with it. I'm going to go ahead here, and we're going to go ahead and dig this down just a bit this way. Down here at the bottom, I'm going to use a magma block. I'm just kind of a fan of the magma block, and I like that. Now, it's down there a ways, and there's a reason, because new functionality allows the heat to transfer through a hopper, and allows us to actually do this. So let me throw that in there, make sure that that's coming in there. Yeah, perfect, it is. Okay. So that's getting heated through the hopper into the Hibachi, which is a really, really cool thing, by the way. And there's also new functionality that allows the cauldron to pull the bottom from there. So how do we use the cauldron? Well, if we look at some of the different recipes here, you see that on the right side, or the left side, I'm sorry, you have kind of your fluid in, and then you have your 3 or 4, however many different things that would go into it. Now, there's not a GUI when you select the cauldron, right? There, you have to actually add the stuff to it. So there's multiple things here, and the thing that we're going to make today is urushi and lacquer sticks, because it's one of the things that if you're doing kitsus, you really want. Urushi, we're going to start with a bucket of water. We're going to have some sticks and ground urushi. Ground urushi is a very, very simple thing to make. You'll take your stone basin and any sort of plant material pretty much, along with a rock, and that will crush that down into urushi. So we will add in water into our cauldron. We'll see here that our temp is at 0.35. We're looking at a temp to get to roughly 0.9 or 1 is where we're looking. It also shows you where we're at with our current water. So we have 100 or 1,000 millibuckets of water in here. Once this reaches temperature, then we'll start to do the other work with it. We'll drop in the urushi. So 1 urushi, if we look at the recipe for urushi here, I think it's probably easiest if we go here. Let me bring that up for you. Where's it at? Urushi, come on. Right here. It takes 250 millibuckets. So we now have 1,000 millibuckets in there, right? So we're going to throw 4 urushi in there, and that'll give us 1,000 millibuckets of the actual urushi. So give me just a second. We're going to let this thing heat up, and when it's done, we'll throw the urushi in, we'll get it cooking, and then we'll make our lacquer sticks. Just so you guys know, things take time here. If we take our dirt stick and we look at these guys over here, you see they're coming down, but it does take some time. Okay, so just be prepared that things don't go very quick. While we wait on this, the other thing I'd like to bring up is that PrimalCore now has craft tweaker support, which is even cooler. If you are a modder, if you are a mod developer, if you like to do things and create your own mod packs, you can now specify the recipes for each one of these things, which is really, really cool. We've helped An Sar out on some of that, and it's really cool, some of the functionality now that you can create with an iron cauldron, the Hibachi, the different things you can dry, even to the extent that flaking things, like, you know, we used to flake our flint, our quartz, our diamonds and stuff on rocks and stuff. You can now specify in Craft Tweaker what different items you may want to nap against rock. And so I could nap this piece of beef and maybe you get a bone out of it or something. There's all sorts of things you can do with it now. So it's really, really pretty cool that things are coming along. So we're at 0.94, which is great. So what we're going to do, you see it smoking in the particle effects here. We're going to take and drop into it, the top here. We're going to drop in the urushi. Now you'll see that it kind of disappeared. You check it now with your ladle on the side. Again, I need to preface that we you hit it on the side, and you see we have 4 ground urushi, 1,000 millibuckets of water, and our current heat is at that. Once this is changed over to lacquer inside there, I'll bring you guys back and we will make some sticks. So hold on just a second, and I'll catch you guys when this is done. Yeah, I heard it. Didn't you hear it? Nah, yeah, I got you. Nah, hey, but here's the thing, all right? We're going through it and it's working, okay? So we see stuff coming out. Now, if we want to remove things out of it, there it is. Psst, such a great sound to hear. You would shift right click the top, and we're going to go ahead and remove sticks out of the top of that, okay? So you just start shift right clicking and it'll pull things out of it. Okay, easy, just like that. But for some odd reason, you're like, well, where's my lacquer sticks at, right? Well, remember, we placed this hopper underneath here, and now with the new mechanics, that lacquer stick will drop out of there, and look at that, they drop right into there. So that's a really, really new cool thing that we've got functionality wise with kind of the Cauldron. And then you've got a lot left in here, so you could pull it out in bottles and other things. But the other thing is honestly, once you get one going, just let it ride. So you just let them go do your thing, come back, and all will be good. So but yeah, that's where we're going to leave it for the day. I really wanted to get back, and a lot of you all have asked for a day 2 of kind of PrimalCore. And so I figured, hey, it's time that we do that. There's the new mechanics are really working really nicely in here. And so I wanted to help An Sar showcase all of that. And it's really coming along very nicely. We will do another episode on kind of the decoration, the building block pieces of it, because there's some really cool things in there. So stay tuned for something like that. We'll do that and kind of highlight what PrimalCore has for decorating or decoration building blocks, which there's a lot of those. So until next time, y'all, hey, my name's cScot, and I truly do appreciate y'all stopping by with me today. And we'll catch you all again very, very soon.